Okay, so in this video, we're going to look at how we can import student scores from Excel instead of entering them directly in the application. So I've launched the application. It's going to ask me for my credentials. I'm going to put it there and then log in, see whether it works fine. It's taking time to connect. Okay, now I'm in. I've logged in. Uh, Again, I am at the academic setup page automatically. I'll just pick the program that I want to do it. Sorry, my system is a bit slow today. And then I'll select a class, another program. I think I'll be dealing with RGN 17 for this video. And I'll pick a semester that I want to import. Previously, I think we were dealing with semester 6, where we added a new academic activity, which was the um, end of semester. So as you can see here, we added end of semester under the community basic rehabilitation. So this is the end of semester. I click on the entry sheet here, and then it gives me the entry. So this is where we left off in the previous video, where we are trying to enter the scores one after the other for every student in this sheet. Just sometimes, or depending on your source of data, you might already have it in Excel, and then instead of you looking to the Excel, like I have my own here, so looking at the Excel data and then entering the scores for every um, student one after the other, you can easily import it, and then you save time. So I'm going to look at now. I started the entries, and I feel like I have the Excel sheet there already. Why am I still entering it here? It's a soft copy, so I should be able to import it directly into the application. So to do that, whilst you are at the scores entry page, you have to clear this entry sheet that you are using, because when you try to import a new sheet, it will prompt you that this sorry, it says spot. When I click on import score sheet, it's going to prompt me that I cannot do it because there's already an existing sheet. So as you can see from the control here, it says that please clear all the entry in the entry form before importing. So I have to do exactly that. So I'll just go to clear entry sheets to ask me that to erase all the student score for the selected academic work. Well, the selected academic work is end of SEM, and that is what I want to import from the Excel. So I'll say okay, yes, continue, and then the application will now go through the process of deleting all the entry sheet and the scores that we have already started inputting. Now once it's done, it will give you a blank sheet. Blank sheet similar to what you get when you first create your academic work. It's just blank, there's nothing there. So you just create a new one, a new entry sheet like this one by clicking on the generate entry sheet. By this time around, we're not going to generate the entry sheet so that we can start entering. No, we want to import from the Excel. So we are going to do just that. Okay. Okay, so now our entry sheet has been cleared. It's now blank, and I click on other um, academic works. I get the entries or scores entries. But when I click on the end of semester, I get a blank one, which means that now I can start importing. So I'll click on the import scores here. And again, let me show you the structure of my Excel. The only thing that you require to import from Excel is the index number column and then the score column. Any other column that you have in your Excel is not important. You can leave it, but then you should have a column that is holding the student scores, and then the column that holds the individual students index number. So I'll show you how we deal with that one. So I have this Excel sheet, and I'm going to import that one. I'll save it and then close it. Okay, so now when I click on the import scores, it gives me the import form, the import window. Now it's going to import student score for end of same, as you can see up here. So what I do first is just select the Excel sheet I want to import. So I'll just browse through my computer and then find the sheet I want to import. I think this is the sheet I want to import. I'll select that one. And then when I select the sheet, I have to go to the select table to pick the sheet, the sheet within the Excel workbook that contains my data. So I'll select that. I want to pick the first sheet, and then the application gives me a preview of the data in the sheet. So as you can see, it's having the index number column, the score, and the percentage, just like what I was having in my, like what I was having in the Excel that I showed you. So this is a preview of the data that I've selected. If you have multiple sheets in the Excel workbook, it will show up here. So you can just select any one, that each one, or one that you want to import. But once this one is selected, now I'm going to select the field. This is the mapping part. This is where you map the fields together. So the system is not static, it's so dynamic that it won't force you to name your columns as index number, score, whatever, whatever. No, you can name your columns any how you want it, but then when you are importing, you have to map it to the application columns. So the system requires an index number, but in your Excel sheet, that index number is found in the index number column here. So this one here is the index number. So when you pick these two columns, then you click on map or bind. The application map from index number to index number. The next that is required is the max or the score of the student. So that one to the max is supposed to mark bind to the score in your Excel workbook. So I'll just pick score here and I'll just bind it. The rest of the information is not required. So as I said, you only need the index number and the max to import. So since I have the max and the score here, and I've mapped the two together, so now the application knows the index number will be found in the index number column, and then the score will be found in the, or the max will be found in the score column. Once this is done, I have to select the data that I want to import. So by default, you have everything here. You can just take each one after the other to just select them and add them to the item that you want to import. Or if you want to import everything, just click on the column selection checkbox here, and then the entire list will be selected. So now once I've selected the items I want to import, I will just click on load from data source. So now once I click that, it loads the whole data into this other column for me. As you can see, it brings up more details. When I check the um, index number, um, I want to map, and then I'll be able to see exactly which one is first. So now as you can see, 086 is score 64, 086 is 64. This is the data that the application is going to load. So you have to check, make sure that it is corresponding with your Excel sheet and is the same, that there's not been any changes. So the student with 002 scores 75 here, and the person also scores 75 here, so it's the same. And as you can see, the application automatically adds the other information that is here. So the maximum scores, the application knows that one, it pulls out one for every student. The class ID, the AW ID, those ones are for the system to use. You only have to be concerned with the index number and the max. So once you're okay with the data to be committed, which is this one, then you have to click on commit imported data to save it. So when I click on commit, machine runs. I think it's still pending, it's trying to complete it. And once it's complete, it gives you a notification that you successfully imported marks for the student number. So in this case, we have 224 students in total. So as you can see, it has cleared the data to be committed automatically. So to ensure that to check whether the data was actually imported. Now let's come to the scores entry page again. when you look at the end of semester exams page, academic work, it was blank before we started. So now let me click on the entry again to reload the entry sheet to see whether there's any entry sheets at all. So when I click on it again, now voila, it comes with every data that was in the Excel sheet. So instead of typing it one after the other, whilst you have it in Excel, you just import it, and it's a step that you take to import. And then whilst you're the data here, you can now start to either make changes to data. So I can just pick this one, and then instead of 52, I can make it 55 or something. I can just update the data from here. Click on save. You can do any changes that you want to do to the data whilst you have it here. Click on save. And then once you have the data imported, then it means that now you can go ahead to process the results and then do all those stuff. We'll look at that one too in the next video. So now we've covered how to enter the scores directly or manually on the system. We've looked at how to import from Excel too. In the next video, we'll be looking at how to process the imported scores and generate the student results.